album, I was coming to a resolve about who I was in that relationship. This was made about a week before. This week before. So a lot of it has been my internal reflection on the matter. At this point, there was already external and internal signs of the relationship. And I was already starting to, we were already starting to spend less time together. We were already finding excuses not to be around each other. He already started to step out. It was real. It was becoming real. It was really in it. Really. And this is the first single from the album. After the chaos, after the soul searching that this album did, like I said, at the beginning, it started with chaos in flux, being in flux, being in a state of chaos is what that EP was about, the first five songs. Then we start to get into Gemini, which is about reflecting on the good times of the relationship, the bad times of the relationship, on if it should end, how it should end, why it should end, reflecting on all the full where and why of the relationship, and coming to terms on what was just smoke and mirrors and what was actually happening in that relationship, in terms of the abuse, in terms of love, both extremes, and everywhere, seeing things for what they also are. Like I said, 7-year relationship, still knowing who I am, still have this was made in the first quarter of 2025. Searching for core, I was searching for stability, searching for foundation. I'm with an intense, academic semester, trying to produce a new album that covered how I felt at that moment, how angry I felt about, what I was facing at school, with ethics issues and things, issues with some of my professors and all that kind of shit. But finding my stride. The latter half of course, figuring out, is about finding my stride. One of the latter songs that I produced for the album, for sure. And now we're at the final track. Shout out to Omni y'all. Omni is where I made this song. I was on a Omni song. August 2019. So this is one of the first songs that I made for the album. Putting it at the end. 2019 was one of the first times I ever wrote an Omni song. So I was inspired by the way that Bustin' was. I was inspired by the way that transit kind of emulates the way that we all are between stages in life. I began to see public transit as a metaphor for being transitional. I didn't know that it would come to an end the way that it did. I didn't know that there would be domestic violence incident, but I would have to defend myself, and where my charges would be dismissed in the interest of justice 6 months later. I didn't know that I would have a new boyfriend, that I would find new love in the process of putting this album out. I didn't know